this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. XRP may not have hit a new all-time high yet, but honestly, there's no shortage of reasons to be optimistic for the future of XRP. Take a look at this headline from the Crypto Basic, because clearly we are not the only ones that feel this way. The headline is, data shows XRP now top traded altcoin of the year. That's right, XRP is the #1 traded altcoin. And I can't tell you I'm particularly surprised. So fine, even with all this trading, XRP hasn't hit a new all-time high. But when does XRP really run historically? It runs when Bitcoin is running. And yes, Bitcoin has had a positive year to this point, but we're not in times of euphoria. So yes, I was wondering, and pretty much all of you listening were too, I think, once we got this legal clarity for XRP, how high would it shoot up? And now we know the answer was about 90 cents. But that's just the initial surge. That's not the important thing. And yes, I was wondering myself, I talked about it because I didn't know, nobody knew. Would it actually run even higher? Is this such a big deal that it would actually break into new all-time high territory? Well, now we know the answer is no for the initial burst. But like I've been saying in recent days, what matters is that XRP is now unshackled. So while it ran to $2 during the euphoria of April 2021, it was being tethered. It was tethered down. It was being held down because of the bogus assertions made by the SEC. So it only ran up to $2. I think it would have hit a new all-time high back then otherwise. So now that's not the case. And yes, it does mean that if that's how it's going to play out, we have to be more patient. But that's always how it is. We just need to be adults. I know we all want to have our Lambos now, but we don't. We're not little children's. We're grown as adults, so we can be patient, right? Because I do think once you have the next time period where there's crypto euphoria, which I think is an inevitability, with XRP now being unshackled, it's really gonna run, and it's clear that everybody's focusing on it. It's like the least well kept secret in the room at this point. That's how I look at it. Everybody's trading it because everyone's expecting it. It's just that the crypto markets aren't running to that degree, but when they do, whew. So I've got this. There's also this article from A&B Crypto. XRP peaks community interest amidst price volatility, and I have some additional stuff to share with you. It's just positive stuff in terms of, indicating directionally where we're going, including when we get a spot Bitcoin ETF, because the degree to which that's going to be traded or increase the trading of Bitcoin once we get a spot Bitcoin ETF, which I think is going to happen sooner rather than later. Probably BlackRock's going to get approved. The amount of money that's going to flow in and the impact that will have also as a result on XRP, because the asset class moves in tandem. I think that is the type of thing that's going to result in finally entering face melting territory again. And we will get there. I firmly believe anyway. Can't know for sure. Maybe I'm wrong and XRP goes to zero. I don't know what's going to happen in terms of price. I always admit that. But I'm optimistic, and I place my bets accordingly, that we are going to see those types of new all-time highs, and we're going to see a face melt season. It's going to be a good time. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. Well, XRP may only be 71 cents. At the beginning of the year, what was it at? Was it in the upper 20 cent region or lower 30 cent region? It's 71 cents now. We haven't even hit euphoria. I think it's going to be fine. 71 cents now. But even with it, as I was mentioning in a video yesterday, with analysts broadly accepting this concept that it's oversold, it got as low as 68 cents. It didn't go back to like the 40-something cent region it was at before the SEC v. Ripple case. So it's at a new level regardless. Yes, we would have loved to see even bigger, greater highs. But it's, after 2.5 years of damage and price suppression because of the SEC, it's just not the case that in a matter of days or a week or two, that all of that damage is going to be undone. It just takes time. But as far as XRP being the top traded altcoin of the year, well, let's jump into this piece. According to Kaiko, a trusted source for market data across various networks, XRP has taken the crown as the most traded altcoin of the year. The research firm revealed this information in a recent tweet showcasing the cumulative trade volume of altcoin across prominent centralized exchanges. Man, words are hard this morning. Specifically, according to the graph shared, XRP's cumulative volume on centralized exchanges so far in 2023 has surpassed the $150 billion mark, heading toward the $175 billion territory. And so here's the tweet. And for those of you who can look, that's a fun chart because XRP is dominating the trade volume. It's not even close. Not even close. Second place, Solana, it's got about half the volume. About half. And so Kaiko wrote, XRP is officially the top traded altcoin of 2023. Now that is definitely something. So that's why I was saying at the outset of the video here, fine, we didn't get the new all-time high yet, but everybody knows. And you know how money cycles through crypto? What do you think is going to happen? So once Bitcoin starts running and eventually it hits a new all-time high, which I think is inevitable, I'm optimistic for that as well, people are going to take profit. A lot of that's going to end up going to large cap coins. Don't you think a big-ass chunk of that is going to go into XRP this time? And don't you think that way more would have flowed in 2021 when we had the last period of euphoria, if not for the SEC? So it's like people know this, and that's why there's so much trading, but we just have to be patient. And so then there was also this XRP peaks community interest amidst price volatility. This is from AMB Crypto. Recent data indicated that XRP continued to capture significant attention from the crypto community. Alongside the rise in searches, are there other underlying metrics that have experienced noticeable increases? Well, the answers to that is yes. But here you can see, here's the list for those of you who care to look on the screen. I'm not going to read the whole thing here, but this is from July 25th. A trend report by Lunar Crush revealed that XRP was the most searched cryptocurrency on their platform. So folks, it's just the case that, yes, XRP is getting the most attention. People are aware of the status, the non-security status. We're not in an alt season, and we're not in euphoria zone. But when we get, that's why I keep saying, when we get there, what do you think will happen? You tell me, seriously. Tell me in the comment section below. Am I way off the marker? Because I have an idea of what I think is most probable, while not knowing what's going to happen with the price of XRP. I have directionally a concept of what I personally, unprofessionally think is most probable. And take a look at this. This is a social dominance chart shared by on-chain analytics firm Santiment. This is just incredible. And so you can see, this great, for those of you looking at the screen, you can see this massive spike right here. This would be July 13th, when we got the ruling from Judge Torres, the SCV Ripple case, just through the roof. And of course, it's come back down since then. That's not surprising. But I'm just saying, everyone knows this now. People are paying attention. That's why I keep asking, what do you think is going to happen when inevitably we get back in euphoria mode? And that's why it's so fun to pay attention to all these other metrics. Yes, price is always interesting, but what about everything else that's happening? How are the humans behaving out there? I always find that very interesting. And here you have X account, formerly known as Twitter. It's now X, in case you hadn't heard. Elon Musk turned Twitter into the letter X. Anyway, X account DS, which is the founder of Expector, which is on the XRP ledger. I'm sure most of you will be aware of at this point. Anyway, he tweeted out the following, just some interesting stats. Directionally, I'd say we're going the right way. He wrote, XRP wallets with at least 1 million XRP soared to 1,900. XRP wallets holding more than 100 million XRP tokens have surged to 199. XRP open interest currently at $1.2 billion, a 2-year high. Number of active XRP addresses has risen by over 23% over the past 30 days and by 43% over the past year. Love is in the air, end quote. Oh, yes, indeed, love is in the air. And look, these are just facts. They're just numbers. Look at how the people are behaving. And it's easy for people to feel defeated, especially as you hold an asset for a long period of time. And I understand that. It's just psychology is the biggest hurdle. That's why I would say, people are their own worst enemies when it comes to investing. We are our own worst enemies because it's the emotions that shake us out. You just got to use logic and reason rather than emotion to make important financial decisions. So I'm not telling you to buy or sell anything. You do whatever you want. I'm just saying maybe use emotion and logic, or I'm sorry, logic and data rather than emotion. Don't use the feels. That's not exactly the best idea or way. That's not the best way to approach investing in general. Let's just go ahead and say that here. And then there's this from chart analyst Credible Crypto, and this is a Bitcoin chart here. He says, we've been repeating the exact same pattern with every single accumulation / consolidation structure since our bottom at $15,000. It's almost time for the next impulse. So here you have the chart going back into the later part of 2022, and where I'm circling for those of you looking, you can see that this was obviously the region of the FTX collapse, where Bitcoin did ultimately get down to roughly whatever it was, $15,000 or so. And there have been a number of notable pullbacks along the way, but look at the trend. I mean, we're going to be in August soon. So, when we hit that, middle of August next month, that at that point, we're 9 months away from the low of $15,000. That's 9 data points if you look from month after month after month, if you're looking on a monthly basis. 9 data points showing the trend is upward for Bitcoin. The bottom's in, folks. And that's not even something that people contest at this point. People concede, okay, the bears out there, like, I think they've all pretty well recognized that they were wrong and stated that publicly, or they've just run away and ceased to operate their Twitter accounts, now known as X, because they have great shame. But see, it's another thing. Now that XRP is unshackled, you see what is happening with Bitcoin. You have human eyeballs. You can look on the screen. This is what's happening. Unless you think everything's just going to collapse. But then, see, here's the thing. Even if everything does collapse to whatever degree, even if we have a wildcard incident and it goes below, the $15,000 mark, the question is, for how long? Does it stay down there forever and never rebound? Because the asset class moves in tandem with stocks. Do you think that even if we have some sort of massive recession, massive, it never rebounds? The United States economy never recovers? It's a nonsensical idea. And I know people have trouble with the feels. I understand that. We're all human. I understand. But that's why I keep saying, look at the data. Look at how humans respond in these situations. What do you think is most probable? And that's why that's why I look at it like this. Even though most of the time I've held XRP, I've been down on my investment. Most of the last few years, obviously, that's not the case. I've been up. But for the first few years, almost the whole time I was down or about break even. And I didn't care. I was like, yeah, but I think it's going to be worth more in the future. It doesn't matter that I'm down, or that's always what I told myself, and I firmly believed it. And I also recognized I have income. I put in money that I don't need right now. So even if my net worth is going down on paper, what the hell do I care? I have a career. I have income. It doesn't matter. It's just, eventually, I think it's still going to be worth way more in the future. So even if you have a recession and your net worth goes down, in terms of what you have invested in the stock market and or crypto, so what? That's not the time to pull it out. When prices are suppressed because of stuff like that and people panic sell, that's not the time to sell, right? Tell me, do you agree or not agree? Seriously. So if you just understand that, and then as long as you have money coming in so you can put food on the table, who cares? And that's why I've been happily holding XRP for almost 6 years at this point, never sold a single XRP, and I'm fine with that. Now take a look at this. This is from Bitcoin Archive. BlackRock study recommends 84.9% Bitcoin allocation for optimal portfolio. Now, look, I don't really want to read this article. It's from an analysis dating back to April 2022, but recently, as noted in the article here, which is a brand new article, this just surfaced again and it got heavily circulated, made the rounds on X. So that's why there's a brand new article about it. But I just wanted to say, BlackRock, they had this analysis April of last year, and it was months later that they announced that they were jumping into crypto in their partnership with Coinbase. So, and I think it was, if memory serves anyway, I think it was August of last year when that news broke. And then it was June, the middle of June this year, we found out that they're pushing for a spot Bitcoin ETF. So directionally, they're going for Bitcoin for you. So you'd expect them to be praising Bitcoin and saying, hey, this is where it makes sense, because they have a strong financial interest in this at this point. And they knew the direction they were going, undoubtedly, when this report was put out in April of last year. And it's not that they're wrong. It's not that Bitcoin's like bad. I mean, the concept, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm pro Bitcoin. I hold Bitcoin and have been since November 2017. But 84.9%. Like, they're focusing on what is benefiting them because they're starting with Bitcoin. They're not pushing for an XRP spot ETF right now. Not that that wouldn't happen at some point in the future. In fact, I think it'd be weird if it didn't at some unknown point in the future. As long as XRP is going to be long-term viable, why wouldn't that happen? But the truth of the matter is, as great as Bitcoin is, and I like it still, like, when it comes to the tremendous returns, It's the altcoins. Look, any altcoin that's actually that's gonna pump during an alt season. Let's say there's an alt season. It's going to substantially outperform Bitcoin. Substantially, it won't even be close. There's enough money in Bitcoin now that it would take a really truly prolonged period of time for anybody to achieve life-changing wealth in Bitcoin. And even then, you better be putting in a good amount if you even think that might happen for you. That's what I would think anyway. But I love seeing this because Bitcoin leads the market, and more money flowing into Bitcoin will ultimately cycle through into XRP and other coins that I hold. So still happy to see it. I just wanted to point out that they're highlighting what is most beneficial to them. But the real money, if you want life-changing wealth, like this is just what I personally believe, all coins is where it's at, period. So now take a look at this, because how much more money is going to flow in if there is a spot Bitcoin ETF? And this is fascinating. So here's the headline from the Daily Huddle. One catalyst could trigger Bitcoin to explode by over 350% within the next 9 months, says Fundstrat's Tom Lee. Fundstrat Global Advisors managing partner Tom Lee is predicting that Bitcoin could hit 6 figures before the halving scheduled for 2024. Lee says in a research note that the approval of a spot Bitcoin exchange-traded fund could trigger Bitcoin to rally to between $140,000 and $180,000 before next year in April. Now, folks, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't make price predictions on any asset because it would be disingenuous, because I don't know what's going to happen for the price of Bitcoin or XRP or anything. I just firmly believe that there's going to be more money flowing into crypto, broadly speaking, as time passes. I believe in the long-term viability of XRP. So for me, I mostly keep it simple. I don't get into the price predictions, but I do believe that as long as those presumptions are correct, that XRP and Bitcoin will both be worth substantially more in the future. But the amount of money flowing in as a result of the spot Bitcoin ETF, this would be wild. So check this out. Piece continues. Such a move would represent an increase of between 380% and 516% from the current levels. The Fundstrat managing partner says his prediction is based on the thesis by Fundstrat's head of crypto strategy, Sean Farrell, and check this out, folks, that the approval of a spot Bitcoin ETF would increase the daily demand for Bitcoin 5-fold. That would be so wild. A 5-fold increase for Bitcoin, and there's already not that much that's even available. In fact, here, let me pause to show you this one. I'm going to go right back to the article, but let me point this out. There's a chart from Ki-Young Zhu here, co-founder and CEO of CryptoQuant, doing analysis here, and he simply wrote, Bitcoin is still in a bull cycle. Approximately 71% of realized cap is unmoved Bitcoin, greater than 6 months, indicating low selling pressure from long-term holders currently. So most Bitcoin, it's just being held. It's already just being held. It's not available for sale. You're not going to get it, not at these prices anyway. And then you're talking about, while most Bitcoin is not even available, increasing the demand 5-fold. Huh. If that's right, that is absolutely wild. So here's the quote. Current Bitcoin market is in balance with $25 million in daily block rewards and $25 million in daily demand. Incremental ETF demand, Sean Farrell believes $25 billion with a B of demand is possible in the first year. This is $100 million in daily demand. This would bring daily demand to $125 million, while daily supply is only $25 million. The implied equilibrium price would need to rise so daily supply matches daily demand. Equilibrium analysis suggests that a clearing price of $140,000 to $180,000 before the April 2024 halving. Generally, this idea of higher equilibrium price is consistent. Sean Farrell estimates of flow multiplier for Bitcoin of 4x to 5x, end quote. So there's no guarantee that he's right, but if he is right, and XRP has clarity, and you know how money cycles through crypto, it starts at Bitcoin at the top. Bitcoin always leads the run, but then it goes into other large caps. Woo doggy. I love being in crypto. Jumping into crypto is one of the best things I've ever done in my entire life. I absolutely love this. And I still haven't cashed out any crypto in the United States dollars even after almost 6 years, but I'm Mr. Patient here. It's fine. I don't mind that. I don't mind that. My net worth is way higher than it otherwise would have been. It's looking pretty damn good, and eventually I do plan on selling a bunch. But I am patient. It doesn't happen on the timeline that I want or wish that it would. It would have been fantastic if it happened in 2018, you know, after I bought a bunch, or 2019 after I had even more XRP, or 2020. Would have been fantastic, but it doesn't go on my timeline. It happens when it happens, if it's going to happen. That's pretty much it. So I just make sure that I have exposure to what I want to have exposure to. So if it does happen, and I believe that it will personally, then I'm good. And then I just sell and take my profits and be very happy. Do a little happy dance. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.